and welcome to British English with me, Ali. In today's lesson, we are going to be differentiating between British English words and American English words. Now, I know that especially in Japan, American English seems to be used more commonly. So in today's video, I'd like to provide you with a clear definition of what words we use in Britain and how you can tweak your English to sound a little bit more British. I will also be talking to you about some words that have come over to Britain from America and are more commonly used now than they were even 10 years ago. I really do hope that this lesson helps you. Please remember to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so that you can stay up to date with more British English lessons. In British English, we say we are going to watch a film in the cinema, as opposed to American English, which would be a movie in the theatre. In British English, a theatre is a place where you watch live performances, such as concerts or musicals. So theatre and cinema are two different things, but both of them are in the UK. So take care if you go to Britain that cinema is where you watch a film and a theatre is where you watch a musical or a performance. Sometimes women choose to wear skirts and other days they choose to wear trousers. I was very surprised the first few times that I spoke to an American who told me that they had forgotten their pants. For me, pants go underneath the trousers, so I was a little bit shocked why someone who I'd only just met was talking to me about their underwear. Of course, now I realise that pants in American means trousers, but pants in British English means underwear. So please do be careful when you start talking about your pants to a British person. Perhaps when you go to a coffee shop, you might order a latte. So in British English, we would say, could I have or may I have a latte? Americans are much more likely to say, I will get. In British English, this is a little bit too direct and demanding. So we like to ask a question if we want something, as opposed to directing or ordering. In British English, we'd say, may I have or could I have a coffee? And in American English, I'll get or I'll take. Take is another word that is much more used in American English than in British English. So for example, in American English, take a shower, take a walk, take a coffee. Whereas in British English, I'll have a shower, I'll go for a walk, or have a coffee. I would say that generally Americans will use the word take, whereas British use the word have. Perhaps whilst thinking about your order in this coffee shop, you will have to wait, and there may be a few more people in front of you ordering before you. This we call a queue. It's a very strange spelling word, but the pronunciation is simply queue, as opposed to American English, which would say a line. Of course, it's a line of people, so we could say in British English, you wait in line. This is more about the order or the style of the queue, but the actual noun is a queue. If you want to turn queue into a verb or an action, you can say, please queue up at the entrance, or please queue in line, so queue in order. This is a very subtle word exchange between Americans and British English, and this is way for Americans and far for British. So for example, if I go outside and it's freezing cold, I would say, oh, it's far too cold today. Whereas Americans are more likely to say way too cold. In British English, some inappropriate language is known as swear words. These are the naughty words which I'm not allowed to teach you in this channel. These are known as curse words in America. To swear is to say a bad word, whereas in American English, to curse is the same thing. We don't really use curse unless it's about witches and sorcerers putting a curse on someone, but that's really the only context that we use curse. Taking a slightly different route now, when we talk about the behind or the bottom of a person, British English will usually say bum. If you want to sound a little bit more posh, or you're speaking to your grandmother, you might want to refer to it as a bottom or buttocks. But more naturally, in general conversation or conversation with friends, we would say bum. I notice a lot that in Japan, people say hip instead of bum. And actually, hip for us means the side of the body rather than the back. So do take care when you use the word hip in Britain or even in American English, because it does mean just the side of the body as opposed to the bum itself. Americans tend to say ass, and in British English, we would elongate the vowel and say arse. So American English is ass and British English is arse. As I have said in previous videos, a good way to sound more British when you're speaking English is to elongate those middle vowels. So for example, I can't, as opposed to American, I can't. The same applies for the casual word for bottom, and that is arse, as opposed to ass. A common thing that I see in Japan is a machine that will take you up from the ground level to the 9th floor, for example. And this is a lift. In American English, it's called an elevator. I think both words come from a similar place, you know. The machine lifts you up, elevates you up. So elevate and lift are synonyms, but in British English we would say a lift as opposed to an elevator. On that note, in Britain we would say that the ground is on the ground floor, as opposed to American or Japanese who say the first floor. It was a very interesting point for me because I realized that walking from the ground floor to, for example, the 3rd floor is much more easy in Japan because it's actually the 1st floor to the 3rd floor and it's only 2 levels, as opposed to in Britain, if you go to the 3rd floor from the ground floor, there are 3 levels to go, so you may want to take the lift in that situation. Talking of going up, in a house dynamic, we often have a room above the bedroom and bathroom and kitchen where we often store things, and this is known in British English as an attic. In American English, this is known as a loft. I have no idea why they are different, but that is just the way that we call it. In British English, we say the attic. I'm going to finish this video here today, but do make sure to check part 2 for more vocabulary differences between American English and British English. Please let me know if there was anything new or different or surprising that you learned today. And until next time, bye bye.